The Mermaid is a French film that was released in 1904. This is a Georges Méliès film. Um, the gist of the film is that he's a magician showing off his magic tricks, throwing fish in a fish tank, and then uh, having bunnies pop out of a hat. And then he decides he's going to change the scene a little bit, and a mermaid shows up. It's a 4-minute clip. And now I saw where a lot of people were reviewing this and saying it's like one of his worst films. This is the guy that gave us that trip to the moon. This is terrible. Even with the multiple exposures and dissolves and camera trickery, it's terrible. You couldn't do a little bit more research on what was going on during that time? Because I did. Yeah, I'm throwing people under the bus on this one. Because as it turns out, 2 years earlier, H.G. Wells released a book titled The Sea Lady. It was a popular book, a popular story, and yeah, he wasn't just science fiction. He wrote a fantasy book. I mean, from the sound of it, it was pretty much like Little Mermaid, just a little more sexual. So, and and his characters were centered around actual people of the time. So, of course, it was popular, not just because of the mermaid themes, because, Hans Christian Andersen's Little Mermaid was still popular during these times. And when you write a story like this, it's going to revive a story like Little Mermaid. Mermaids were the thing. So, of course, Georges Méliès was going to make a 4-minute short film about a mermaid. Fit the pieces together. Doesn't It's not that hard to do if you're going to review something, do the research. I've ranted before about this, and I will continue to rant about it. It's not that hard. Look at what was going on during that time. Now, Georges Méliès, he's also done several films about Cleopatra. I wonder why. Because of the fact that there were other people doing films about mummies. He had a method. Now, fun little fact about this film in general is in 2011 there was the movie Hugo. It has Ben Kingsley and it is about George Méliès. It's one of my favorite movies. It has a huge cast and I highly recommend it. And they actually reference this particular short film. I mean, the part where Georges Méliès dresses up like uh Poseidon and the girls are next to him and everything. It's an iconic shot in Hugo where it shows Méliès working behind the scenes and everything. Again, I highly recommend this film. So, anyway, this is The Mermaid. It was released in 1904. It is a French film.